Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 1. Parikshith's Curse. Assemblies of sages lived in the Naimisha forest. The head of those sages was the great sage Sonka. Once, he performed a Satrayaga, sacrificial ritual, that lasted for 12 years. While many great sages were performing that ritual together, a Suta, bard storyteller, named Ugrasrava, the son of Romharshana, arrived there. There was no Puranic tale unknown to the Suta. Upon seeing the Suta, all the sages gathered around him and said, "From where are you coming? We are very happy about your arrival. We can hear many meritorious stories from you." The Suta said to them, "O great sages, Parikshith's son Janmeja performed a Sarpayaga, snake sacrifice. At that time, Vaishampayana told the stories of the Bharata to Janmeja. The writer of those stories was none other than Vaishampayana's teacher, Vedavyas. Having heard all those stories, and having visited many holy pilgrimage sites, I went to the sacred place called Samantapanchaka where the Kauravas and Pandavas fought the war, and from there, I have come here. What more needs to be said?" Sonka and the other great sages requested him to tell them the stories of the Bharata composed by Vyas. The Suta told them, "How do you think the composition of the Bharata happened?" Vyas, also known by the name Krishnadvapayana, performed penance on the Himalayas after dividing the Vedas into 4. After every one of Dhritarashtra's generation had passed away, he conceived the Bharata. While he was thinking about the way to make it readable for the entire world, Brahma came to see him. Vyas bowed to Brahma, offered him a seat, and said, "Lord, I have composed the epic called Bharata, incorporating the essence of all the Vedas and Vedants. I do not see anyone capable of writing it down so that people may read and enjoy. Son, pray to Vigneshwara and have your Bharata epic written through him," Brahma advised Vyas. When Vyas meditated, Vigneshwara appeared. As requested by Vyas, Vigneshwara wrote the Mahabharata as Vyas dictated. Narada propagated it in the world of the Devas, Asita, who was also known as Devla, in the world of the Pitras, ancestors, and Shuka in the worlds of the Gandharvas and others. When Janmeja performed the Sarpayaga, Vaishampayana recited it and brought it into propagation in the human world. Sonka and the other sages, upon hearing these things, were delighted and asked the Suta, "How did the place called Samantapanchaka, where the Kauravas and Pandavas fought the war, get that name?" The Suta told them, "At the juncture of the Treta and Dwaparayugas, when kings became arrogant and moved in the path of unrighteousness, Parshuram hunted them down 21 times and slew them. He created 5 pools with their blood and offered oblations to his ancestors in those pools. The ancestors gave a boon to Parshuram that those 5 pools would become holy pilgrimage sites. The horrific Bharata war took place in that very location. For that reason, the Samantapanchaka region got the name Kurukshetra. In that Kurukshetra, Janmeja, the son of Parikshith, performed a long Satrayaga with the help of his brothers Shrutsena, Ugrasen, and Bhimsena. At that time, while Sarmaya, the son of the divine dog Sarma, was wandering in the sacrificial arena, Janmeja's brothers beat that dog. It went and told its mother, Sarma, "Harm done to the righteous and the helpless never goes unpunished." Sarma pronounced a curse. Fearing that Sarma's reproach might act as a curse, Janmeja returned to Hastinapura and began looking for a priest who could perform rituals of peace, Shanti Karma. Once, while he went hunting in the forest, he saw the hermitage of Shrutashrava. Learning that Shrutashrava had a son named Somashrava, Janmeja asked Shrutashrava, "Can you give your son to be my priest? My son has a rule, my son will give whatever a Brahman asks for. If you can ensure that no violation occurs to this rule of his, he will serve as your priest," said Shrutashrava. Janmeja agreed to that, took Somashrava to Hastinapura, and performed many sacrifices with his help. While things were thus, one day a great sage named Udanka came to Janmeja and said, "O king, why are you sitting with folded hands, neglecting the work that needs to be done?" "Lord, I am performing all the duties of a Kshatriya without fail. What is it that I have failed to do?" Janmeja asked Udanka, "Perform the Sarpayaga. Turn that wicked Takshaka into ashes. Was it not that Takshaka who bit and killed your father Parikshit? Was it not him who bribed Kashyapa, who was coming to save your father's life, with endless wealth and sent him back?" said Udanka. In truth, Udanka also had a grudge against Takshaka. The reason for it was this. This Udanka, after studying under a sage named Veda, was about to enter Grihastha, the stage of a householder, and asked his teacher what he should give as Guru Dakshina, that is teacher's fee. Ask my wife what she desires, said Veda. Udanka asked the Guru's wife what she wanted. On the 4th day from today, I will perform the Punyaka Vratam. At that time, I wish to wear earrings. Those earrings that I desire are with the wife of King Portia. If you are able, bring and give them to me, said the Guru's wife. Udanka went to King Portia's wife and told her the matter. She agreed to give her earrings, but warned that Takshaka was always waiting to steal them. It happened just as she said. While Udanka was carrying those earrings through the forest path, he saw a pool at one place. He kept the earrings in one spot and went to the pool to perform Achmana, the purification ritual. Meanwhile, Takshaka, who had been following Udanka from a distance until then, stole the earrings and began to flee. Udanka chased and caught Takshaka, who was in the form of a naked human. Immediately, Takshaka turned into a snake and entered a hole. Udanka dug that hole with a stick, made it larger, and reached Patala through that path. No matter how much Udanka praised the Nagas there, it was of no use. Finally, he saw a man sitting on a horse. That horse was Agni, and the one upon it was Indra. Udanka did not know that. However, when that man asked him, "What do you want?" Udanka asked him to make the world of the Nagas subservient to him. Immediately, fearsome flames of fire emerged from that horse. Fearing that the entire Naga world would be turned to ashes, Takshaka brought the earrings and gave them to Udanka. He delivered them to the Guru's wife in time. Upon learning through Udanka that it was Takshaka who killed his father, Janmeja asked his ministers, what was the reason for that to happen? They told the story of Parikshith's death like this. Born to Abhimanyu and Uttara, Parikshith learned archery from Kripacharya and had been ruling the kingdom after the Pandavas. He was very fond of hunting. One day, in the heat of the hunt in the forest, while chasing an animal that escaped after being wounded by him, he came to the place where a great sage named Shamika was performing penance and asked, "A deer hit by an arrow ran this way. Which way did it go?" Shamika, who was performing penance in silence, did not answer. Parikshith became angry. He lifted a dead snake with the tip of his arrow, placed it around Shamika's neck and left. Shamika's son, Shringi, learned about what Parikshith had done through a friend. Shringi, who was short-tempered, cursed, "On the 7th day from today, let Parikshith die from Takshaka's poison." Learning that his son had given such a terrible curse to a good king like Parikshith, Shamika felt very pained. He called his disciple Gauramukha and said, "Go to Parikshith, tell him about the curse, and tell him to be careful so that no danger comes from Takshaka." Gauramukha went to Parikshith and told him exactly what his teacher had said. Parikshith felt pained by the act he had committed and, fearing the curse given by Shringi, asked his ministers to see if there were any remedies to avoid the curse. They built a single-pillared mansion. Even outside air could not enter it. The mansion was filled with medicines that act as antidotes to poisons. They summoned poison specialists and masters of mantras. All the ministers, along with the king, moved into that mansion. 6 days passed without any danger. On the 7th day, a Brahman named Kashyapa, having heard about the curse on Parikshith, was coming to save the king's life in case Takshaka bit him. Takshaka, too, was thinking of a way to bite the king and, coming in the guise of a Brahman, met Kashyapa and learned of the task he was going on. Kashyapa said to Takshaka, "I know the antidote for snake poison. With my mantra power, I can bring back to life those who have died from snake bites. If I revive the king when Takshaka bites him, I will gain a lot of wealth and fame. Sir, I am Takshaka myself. Those who die from my poison will turn to ashes. They will not come back to life with your mantras." "You go back," said Takshaka. Kashyapa did not agree. Takshaka bit a nearby banyan tree and turned it to ashes with his poisonous fire. Immediately, Kashyapa restored it to its original state with his mantra. "You might be able to provide an antidote to my poison, but can you provide an antidote to the curse? I will give you much more wealth than the king would give." "Go away," said Takshaka, tempting Kashyapa with greed, and sent him away after giving him money. Afterwards, Takshaka sent some Nagas in the form of young hermits, disciples, to Parikshith. They went to Parikshith with fruits and flowers. Parikshith split open one of the fruits they gave. A small worm appeared in it. Parikshith said to those around him, "The time of danger is ending. The sun is about to set. If I am to be bitten, let this worm bite me, but there is no fear of any serpent." Immediately, that worm became Takshaka and bit Parikshit. Everyone fled in all directions. Not only did Parikshit burn up from Takshaka's bite, but the single-pillared mansion also burned down completely. Chandamama Mahabharata, Part 1 is complete. For now, Swasti.